I'm joined by Dr. Matt Heinz, internist with Tucson Medical Center in Arizona. And I'll just start by asking you, Dr. Heinz, would you personally attend an event such as the ones that are planned both in Arizona and in Oklahoma?
Well, thank you for having me. And absolutely, definitely not.
And what are the risks entailed? Because, you know, what are the risks? Just explain to us what the risks are. Obviously, we know there's no social distancing. Trump is anti-masks. Is it the concentration of bodies that makes it risky, or is it the masklessness, or the cumulative?
So it's actually a combination of things. But anytime you have a lot of people in close proximity, the virus, which is conveyed by water vapor. We exhale quite a bit of water vapor every time we breathe in and out. So that water vapor transmits the virus from person to person. And if you're within 6 feet, you're breathing in a little bit of the water vapor that that person next to you is exhaling every time you breathe. So think about when you have 20, 25 people exhaling their water vapor basically into you, you have a pretty high chance of getting coronavirus from some of those folks around you. And there's not great circulation inside a lot of these big buildings, especially with all those people crammed in there. So it's really an ideal situation if you're a coronavirus.
And so Arizona, we know where you are, obviously, ICU beds in use is at 83%, the capacity, 83%. And it's the highest number for Arizona since the pandemic began. So obviously there's a lot of challenges that we're seeing in Arizona right now. The mayor of Tucson tweeted out that she will begin requiring masks to be worn in public, which it's shocking that she hasn't done that up to now, saying she's directed the city attorney to work on amending our local emergency proclamation to require wearing masks in public. Public health experts agree it's time to mask up Tucson. Does it surprise you that this far into a pandemic of this magnitude and of this death count, that only now is the mayor of a major city starting to require masks in public?
Yeah, so Arizona is an interesting place, and our governor reopened the state May 15th, and 21 days later, we have record levels of cases every single day, and he still says it has nothing to do with it. He also, in his emergency declaration, basically said to every political subdivision, every county and every municipality, including Tucson, and you all can't do anything other than what I say, right? So in his declaration, he preempted the cities and he preempted the counties from really trying to do anything and take anything, take any control whatsoever. So I'm glad that Mayor Romero is doing this, and even though the governor doesn't want her to.
And we've seen not only the ICU bed use, the capacity being gobbled up. Looking at the curve in Arizona, it shows a sharp rise in new cases. And this comes after Memorial Day weekend, when apparently things got a lot worse. And you have Donald Trump pushing officials, Republican officials, to reopen faster. Is it weird for you that it looks like we're emerging into a pandemic? We're just being in a state where Trump has influence, in a sense, makes you more at risk. I've never heard of a political pandemic before, but it feels like we're getting one.
Yeah, and it really shouldn't be, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The science facts, they're fairly meaningful, and the virus is doing exactly what it is programmed to by nature. It makes more of itself, and it uses us to do that. And if people aren't wearing masks, if they aren't taking this seriously, staying home and socially distancing, we're going to see that number go up and up and up. And it's time for the state of Arizona to just lock it down, require masks everywhere, not just in Tucson, but in every part of the state, and do it right now.
You know, it's funny. I think of viruses in my sort of layman's terms as being like the alien in the movie Aliens and all the sequels, that it just wants to reproduce itself through humans. And so it's violent, and it violently kills some of the humans it reproduced itself. And so you think of it like that. And what do the humans do in Aliens? They hide. They hide. They stay inside and stay away from it. It seems like it would be pretty simple. Is there a way of doing the messaging on this pandemic that can get around the partisanship that has made, a lot of Trump followers say, I refuse to wear a mask, I refuse to stay indoors?
I think so. When people understand that these masks, they don't protect you. They don't protect the wearer. You put this on, it's a patriotic gesture. It's a gesture for your neighbors, for your community, for your family. You wear a mask because it prevents 90 or more % of that water vapor from getting out and about. So all of us need to put masks on so we massively decrease the ability of this virus to get around. And doing that saves lives. Not doing that and knowing that it will not save lives, that's a problem. You're harming people in your community, and we can't have that. So we know what we need to do.
Yeah, we already know the information. People just need to accept it and do it. Dr. Matt Heinz, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you being here. And up next on this tragic anniversary, cheers, on this tragic date of this tragic anniversary, a tale of fast food